Hello, everyone. It's almost done, guys, I promise. It's gonna be okay. My name is Mag Rodriguez. I'm the CEO and founder of Even. We are a superfan platform. We help artists and labels sell access to music directly to fans before it's made available on streaming platforms. So think of us like the movie theater premiere if the streaming platforms were Netflix. As far as a company, we provide an infrastructure. So we work directly with artists and we make it turnkey for them to go direct to fan, which traditionally has been costly and requires a lot of resources. But we're also proud to be the first and only superfan platform that reports to the Billboard charts. But we also report to the charts in the UK. Haven't announced that publicly yet, but it is something that we do. But we're also really proud to announce today, well, actually the announcement went out yesterday, we have officially moved to the Avalanche network and ecosystem, and we have launched our own L1. Big kudos to the Ava Cloud team. They've been super supportive and super helpful in making that transition. But enough about me, and even I want to shift the spotlight to an artist that truly, embodies what Even is as a company. IAMDDB is an artist, one of the most unique voices coming out of the UK. She's a genre-bending solstice from Manchester who coined her own lane, urban jazz, and has built a global following on her terms. She has toured the world with legends like Lauryn Hill, Bryson Tiller, dropped viral records like Shade, and leads her own company, WAEV Entertainment. Her latest project, Love is War Volume 6, launched on Even months before it went to streaming platforms, giving her fans direct access to the music and experiences. And when it hit streaming platforms, it's been a massive success. It has generated tens of millions of streams across the streaming platforms. Please join me in welcoming IAMDDB.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you so much for having me. How are we all feeling? Are we feeling good? It's a little bit chilly, isn't it? But yeah, let's get into it. Yeah.
Well, let's kick off. Dee, it's so nice to see you. It's been, I think last time I saw Dee, we were in New York and we were hosting a meditation class with some of her biggest fans. It's a different energy than today here, but yeah, I think there's like a little meditation hub somewhere. But I wanna go back a little bit. When I first met you, one of the first conversations we had was around you being signed to a record label early in your career and transitioning out of that into being independent. Can you walk us through that moment where you realized that ownership was important for you?
So, to be transparent, I think the first moment I understood the music industry is when I understood that the management I was under stole all my money, had me in a really crazy deal. And, I was young, I was naive, I was 21, no guidance, just coming in, all guns blazing. And I think once I started to really dissect the contract I was in, once I really started to understand the clauses, the terminology that they use, and my rights, the assets, I started to understand, okay, this is no longer a numbers game for me, this is an ownership game for me. And I have spent the last 7 years of my career reclaiming all my power in terms of my assets, like the woman I am, reclaiming my voice, like just reclaiming the energy that got me to where I am to begin with, right? So a lot of that was just re-educating myself on the music industry and really understanding how I want to position myself as a business, but also in terms of my artistry, just to flourish as best as I can.
That's amazing. Yeah, that deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
And, we had the honor of working with you for your latest release, Love is War Volume 6. This was your first independent release.
Come on. Actually, second.
Second independent.
Mm-hmm.
And you decided to release this direct-to-fan before going to streaming platforms. And I remember this when we were having these conversations, Even was still in its early beta stages, but you said you wanted to drop singles on the platform. And you were actually the first artist that ever released singles on the platform. And I remember being a little scared because we had never done singles before. But why did you choose this path?
You know, when you're dealing with something new, like you said, even was in its early stages and having gone through so much loss of power, it was really important for me to just take time. I think artists are too much in a rush to be seen, too much in a rush to accept advances, and too much in a rush to accept terms and conditions they don't actually understand, right? So my whole consensus with that was, okay, D, drop some singles. If it works, great. If they're trying to take your money again, run. And of course, that wasn't the case. So I think it was just a nice balance for me to kind of measure the trust, measure like, is the company as authentic as they say they are? And once I felt comfortable, it's like, okay, let's drop the project. Why not?
And what was that? I remember when we went live, what did that first sale feel like?
It was weird. I'm trying not to swear because I'm quite a bit of a potty mouth, but it was weird. I was like, damn, like, so what's going on with the streaming then? Like, it was mind blowing to see revenue come in so fast when us as artists are so accustomed to seeing it 12 months, longer than that. So it's like, it was truly revolutionary for me. And again, that access to having power, like the artist is the art, so therefore the power needs to be in the artist's hand, not the management, not the label, like the person who's actually creating the art.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that. There's probably like a couple times a week I'll be on my Instagram and I see that you're live often. And I'll just like poke in and see what's going on, but it's always you creating live. And it's not like, you know, to be fair, IAMDDB has like hundreds and thousands, if not millions of followers across social media. So it's like, it's not like just like an emerging artist making music in front of their fans. How does that feel? Or like, do you feel pressure when you're creating in front of your fans? Or what's the relationship that you have with them as you're creating?
My fans are really my family. Like, we are like brothers and sisters. I've always been a very transparent, what you see is what you get type of artist. And I think it's cool to make your supporters a part of the process, to make them, you know, see how you actually create. A lot of the times the consumers are used to seeing the finished product, but they don't actually see what goes into it. They don't see the intention. They don't see the struggle. You know, sometimes lyricism doesn't come like this. Sometimes you really have to sit with it and feel it and kind of go back and forth with yourself and really understand, okay, what's the messaging behind it? And I'm a firm believer that music is mantra, music is affirmation. So I love to show them, like, listen, this is frequency, this is energy, and you have to be aware that what you say, you give life to it. So we collaborate. Sometimes they give me some lyrics, you know, and I think it's a great way to connect with them and really keep that authenticity between artist to fan. And also in the future, give them percentages of the music, because if you contribute, you should also have ownership. Why not?
I love that. I love that. And I think with that in mind, right, I think we often forget when we're talking to an artist like you who's fully independent, it's going directly from you to the fans. How do you preserve the parts that you don't want to give away?
Do you want the sugar coated?
No, give us the real answer.
Listen, I book a one-way flight to Brazil. I turn my phone off. I go to Copacabana Beach. I put oil on my body, put my headphones on, listen to my exclusive music, and zone out. You know, it's important to have the balance. It's important to work hard, but also reset. I think the resetting part is the most important, because if your energy isn't balanced, if you've not taken time to check what's going on in your mind, body, soul, and spirit, understand where you're coming from, understand where you're going, understanding your goals, understanding what it takes to get there, because just because you're on the front line and you're the face of the brand does not mean that there's not 100 people, 10 people. In my case, it's like 5 people making it work. But it's important to also like really appreciate and take care of your creative team, whether it's management, tour manager, assistant, whoever, because it really does take a village to bring the vision to life. So I really, as a company, as WAEV Entertainment, as WAEV Entertainment, we really take pride in not only making sure all our staff members are well paid and taken care of, but we also care about their well-being. Like, we're not trying to overwork, we're trying to move with intention and move together, you know, because growth is a cycle for us. It's not just about the front, it's about everybody involved.
Love that. And on that topic, when we last saw each other, you hosted the meditation class. So one of the singles, fans who purchased the release had a chance to be entered to possibly meet IAMDDB in person and be a part of a meditation class that you hosted. Now, the best part about this whole thing was this wasn't like she just showed up and everything was ready to go. You were there at setup. You helped us set up. You stayed through the whole session, and then she stayed like an extra hour talking to the fans outside. I know that's probably not the most meaningful experience you had with fans, or maybe it is, but is there one moment in your career where you engage with your fans that just sticks with you to this day?
I think it's a mixture of moments. I definitely do I'm a very hands-on type of person, woman. So anytime I can interact with them physically, it's way better, just so that they can feel my energy, they can feel how I'm saying things. And also, energy doesn't lie, right? Your energy speaks before you do. But in terms of shows and music, I really do love my meet and greets. I know some people are funny about being touched, but I'm just like, I'm like, come here, give me a cuddle, because it's important for people to understand. Just because we're in the public eye doesn't mean we're not human, doesn't mean we don't bleed like you, we don't go through motions and cycles. So when my fans do share, music has helped them through depression, music has helped them through, heartache, whatever challenge they're facing in life, it gives me the ammunition to keep going, because being an artist is not for the weak. It comes with a lot of trials and tribulations, but when your intentions are in the right place and you're not doing it for clout, you're not doing it for fame, you're doing it solely for the purpose of raising the vibration for the collective, then you will be abundant. It's your birthright.
I love that. I think, you had these, tons of fans who listened to the album before it went to streaming platforms, and then months later, and initially you didn't announce when it was going to streaming platforms. There was a moment where it was just kind of you get it directly from you. Have there been any fans that initially listened when they bought the album that maybe messaged you, or have you engaged with any of those fans since?
I don't think I have, but just the thought of knowing that there was a collective of people that had already processed the music and digested it before it went out. By the time it dropped on Spotify, Apple Music, all of that, I was very unbothered, because I already knew, okay, now I know the true value of my music. And I think, these companies like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, etc., they really need to humble themselves a little bit, because without the art and the artist, without the content creators, it's so I just wish that they would give us a bit more credit and just make it a bit more lucrative for us, because we are we are the substance. Exactly, we are the substance of their platform. So yeah, I think even in terms of giving us our flowers is a great platform, and I'm just so happy and humbled that you allowed my music to be a part of this journey.
No, and we're grateful for you, because you were, as I mentioned, I think you were artist number 19 on the platform, and now we're onboarding 10,000 artists a day. So, along the way, there was probably somebody or an artist that was like, I want to release music, and they saw you on the platform, and they're probably now releasing on the platform. So thank you. Speaking of giving flowers, thank you for...
Thank you so much.
I know we're almost at time, and I have a question, and I would love to kind of hear it in your own words, of course. Now, looking forward, it's been 7 years since you've been independent? 5, 6 years?
It's been 5th year now.
5th year. So 5 years in, what does ownership mean to you now?
Ownership is freedom. I am free. Oh my God. Like, only I know the battles I had to go through to get to this stage, to say that, okay, there's still a few projects that I don't own. Okay, well, we'll get there. But in terms of my masters, knowing that I own now full projects, knowing that I have full creative control, knowing that I understand my contracts, knowing that, I hire people based off energy and skill, not off of finesse and gaslighting, I'm just creating I'm creating my heaven on earth, and I love it. I love that my music's allowed me to regain parts of myself I didn't realize I lost along the way, right? And ownership is really building a legacy with people you like. I think that's very important. Like, building a legacy with people that respect you, building a legacy with people that reflect your value and are selfless and authentic. Authenticity wins all day, every day.
Amazing. Love that. Round of applause for that. Well, it was interesting when we walked in, I asked Dee, I was like, do you know what Avalanche is? And she was like, not really. And I was like, on paper, it's interesting because we've been on-chain since day one as a platform. But I think to us, that's really powerful. The fact that we were able to build on a layer, on a blockchain that offers security to an artist like yourself without you even having to know that it exists. So I did wanted to share that moment because I thought it was funny in the background.
I was just like, yeah, well.
But this is truly why and really what fuels what even is to this day. So a big thank you to the Avalanche team. A big thank you to IAMDDB for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to Avalanche. Thank you to Even. And yeah, man.
Go stream. Go stream or buy.
I mean, damn, you can do both.
You can do both. You can do both. And you want to let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, so I am on all social media, IAMDDB, literally IAMDDB. You can also search up my company, WAEV Entertainment. I'm touring. If you'd like to come to a show, you will have to pay, but I'd love to have you. And yeah, man, thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate